Hello, in this video today I will talk about the winds of plague. Now I will explain to you what the winds of plague are in this video. So the winds of plague are the current of power generated by Lilith, and they are really important for her mysteries. I will talk about them in this video. This is a really important topic for me, and first we need to define what the winds of plague are. So I intended to talk about the winds of plague for a really long time, but since Lilith pushed me, I am forced to talk about this topic. This is not a comfortable topic for me by any means, because I need to share a lot of personal stuff and also introduce concepts which are not so common in the cult community. And unveiling of this issue will definitely make some people butthurt and offended, and that's not my problem. I don't care how you interpret my words, and I don't care how you use information I provide. My job is to provide information which is useful for people. If you abuse information, that's not my problem. The reason why I say this is because information I share here right now can be really easily abused, and let me talk about winds of plague now when we clarify this. So, as I said previously in some of my previous videos, and I will elaborate in this one, the winds of plague are energy which runs through your body and the world around you, which creates illness, sickness, especially that of the chronic kind. And it raises a question, why would anybody work with this kind of energy long term? Because obviously, when you work with this kind of energy long term, it will physically make you more ill and susceptible to illness and death. Why would anybody work with this kind of power and energy when we can simply use power to heal ourselves, right? Isn't it natural for the man to seek health instead of plague, long life instead of torment, and normal functioning instead of insane visions? So, for majority of people, harnessing the type of energy which causes illness and sickness is not the way to go. And that's the reason why nobody discusses the winds of plague, which are the energies responsible for creation of chronic illness and even death. So why would I or anybody else tap into this energy? The answer is really simple. When you enter the realm of the spirits, when you enter the spirit world, you change the metaphysical, physical, and emotional state of your body. So, in order for you to perceive the spirit world, you need to learn to observe the world around us and everything you experience from a completely different angle. Otherwise, you won't be able to see spirits, work with them, and observe them. So the work with the winds of plague is really beneficial if you want to learn alternate states of consciousness. That's one benefit. Another benefit of this is guarded specifically towards people with chronic illness. If you are chronically ill to the point you cannot heal yourself, then the only natural course of action for you is to harness the winds of plague, which are already running through you, and learn to work with them in a beneficial way. I need to disappoint a lot of people, and I need to say, despite of what modern sorcerers claim and what people like to believe in, majority of at birth inflicted disabilities and chronic illnesses cannot be easily cured with sorcery, which means that people with chronic illness or at the birth inflicted disability have to live their lives with understanding of their condition, and they have to live their lives with understanding of how their condition can benefit them. Extremely strong traumas as well generated the winds of plague. For example, if you are severely raped, there is a big chance that you will never recover from the incident completely. But what you can do is you can learn to deal with psychological consequences of the act using sorcery. And you can learn to harness the specific winds of plague generated by the event to empower yourself. A lot of people will disagree with this notion I am bringing here, and they will say how I am nihilistic or how I am fatalistic. But I am partially speaking from personal experience. There are things which are difficult to heal or repair with magic, and the only thing you can do is to deal with the consequences and use the consequences for your own benefit. Every type of energy, no matter how disgusting, can be used for your benefit. Entire point of this video is to tell people who are either disabled, chronically ill, or severely traumatized that they can use the energy generated by their difficult experience, which is known as the winds of plague, to improve their lives instead of seeing their difficult condition exclusively as a burden. Now, why I am telling this? Well, I am telling this because there are groups of spirits which are able to help you to tap into this winds of plague current. And the spirit who is able to tap into this, with whom I am the closest, is definitely Lilith. He introduced me to the concept of the winds of plague and how it operates within my body specifically. So it is my job here on this channel to share with you how winds of plague can be used and utilized, specifically through the mysteries of Lilith. If you want to tap into superficial mysteries of Lilith, like basics of sex magic, or I don't know, dream work, or basic vampirism, you don't have to tap into the winds of plague. But if you really want to harness the mysteries of this infernal entity deeply, then you need to tap into the winds of plague, because this is the energy current she is known for in her original mythology in Hebrew lore, as well as older Mesopotamian and Sumerian mythological stories. Lilith and her kind, Lilith, were known to be the bringers of illness, sickness, plague, hunger, and drought. So they are inevitably linked to the winds of plague and to the energies I already described. So, what are necessary and immediate spiritual benefits from working with this kind of power? Well, the first benefit is significant increase of psychic abilities. After that comes resilience to the consequences of your chronic conditions, greater abilities to deal with trauma, greater success in forms of predatory spirituality, bigger control of your emotions, and definitely great control over your sexual impulses, especially if you learn to harness this energy with Lilith. Now, how one should start harnessing the winds of plague? What is the procedure? In the future, I will channel a lot of magical chants for harnessing this specific energy. I will film, maybe within this video, some chants and hymns. But for now, for the purpose of this conversation with you guys, I will tell you how one can call Lilith for the purpose of initiation into the current of the winds of plague. So, call Lilith in whatever aspect you wish. I will personally leave the chant on the screen for one aspect, I think, which can be used for harnessing of the winds of plague, which is Ha Lilith Ma Ha Lashana. You will see the chant on the screen. This aspect of her is connected to illness and sickness, so it can also be used in curses, and it can also be used for induction of terrible visions. But the procedure goes like this. You call Lilith in whatever aspect you wanna work with her to initiate into this. Absolutely every aspect of Lilith can work with the winds of plague and the current of plague. So it doesn't matter what aspect of Lilith you call. After you call upon the aspect, then you should sign with her a pact of radical vampirism, in which she vampirizes you radically in order to initiate you into the current. It will be painful, but it will be alchemically extremely empowering. It will greatly empower your psychic abilities and ability to work with spirits. After a phase in which you are vampirized, you will later on receive much bigger amount of energy than the amount of energy you gave. So vampirism by her is just the first step. After you make a vampiric pact, he will take large amounts of your energy in order to prepare you to work with this current. When that happens, then she will return to you much bigger amounts of energy than she took, and then you should engage into radical psychic vampirism. Now, when this happens, then you will start feeling sensation known as the vampiric hunger, which is technically this: your aura will become unstable and you will feel constant crawling to vampirize. But when this happens, instead of constantly vampirizing, you should focus on your body and focus on energy pathways within your body in deep meditation, as well as work with Lilith daily. And she will kind of show you where, in which parts of the body, your personal winds of plague flow. And she will kind of show you on a one-to-one basis what is your way to use these kinds of energies. So I said some major benefits of using this energy, but at the end of the day, this is all individual, deeply individual, so I cannot give broad guidelines, because for the simple reason, due to its complexity and complexity of phenomena we are talking about, broad guidelines cannot be accurate in every individual case. So I won't talk about something I don't understand. The most important thing is, when you work with the winds of plague together with Lilith, you need to closely follow the instructions you receive from her, and you need to understand the type of energy you are tapping into and working with is extremely dangerous and extremely powerful. I needed to make a long elaboration for this video because I needed to explain the concept of the winds of plague, what it is and how you can tap into it and harness it, what spiritual guide you should use. If you are interested in this, depending on your feedback, I will channel some techniques how to harness this energy, and this will definitely help you become much better sorcerer. I put this out there because I never saw anybody talking about this. If you are not comfortable with working with Lilith, some other entities which can help you harness the winds of plague are Truma or Trumirol from Slavic mythology, Saizen from Mayan mythology, Pazuzu from Sumerian mythology, partially Nurgle, definitely Hela from Norse mythology, drawing also from Persian mythology, then Beelzebub from infernal demonology of the medieval Christianity. So every mythology has its own spirit responsible for the winds of plague according to the lore. If you want to find spirits who are connected to this kind of energy, then you need to find deities which are heavily associated with illness and sickness. And if you are ill in any way and you cannot heal yourself, you can use your illness as a blade against your enemies and sword which you will use to cut obstacles in front of you. And that's the point of this video. I hope you will call Lilith and benefit from your own winds of plague, and thank you for watching.